Have you ever stopped to think about what humanity could really become? I mean, what's our ultimate potential? Today, we're diving headfirst into a really powerful idea, a story about a symbolic figure called the modern Samson, who just might represent the answer to that very question.
This quote right here, it just perfectly sets the stage for what we're talking about. It paints this incredible picture of humanity walking a tightrope, a really thrilling but also incredibly dangerous path towards something greater. And our guy, the modern Samson, he's the one who actually dares to walk that rope.
All right, so who is this person walking the tightrope? Let's get into it. Let's meet the modern Samson and really try to understand what he stands for.
Okay, so first things first, try to forget everything you might think of when you hear about gods or saviors. The modern Samson is something else entirely. He's more like a living monument to the awe-inspiring and, frankly, kind of terrifying potential that's locked away inside every single one of us. He's a bridge, consciously fusing these two primal forces into something totally new. So you've got these two immense forces that he holds in this perfect, delicate tension. On one side, you have celestial logic. Think cold, hard, unyielding reason, the logic of the cosmos. And on the other, you've got chthonic magic, that raw, untamed, instinctual power that comes from the earth itself. The thing is, he doesn't pick a side. No way. He becomes the master of both.
And this is crucial. This journey isn't about escaping to some heavenly paradise. Not at all. The path of the modern Samson is actually a downgoing, a deep dive into the self. It's about breaking down who you are to build something new, something higher, right here on this earth. He's like the seed that has to completely crack open for a greater harvest to grow.
So how in the world do you go from being a beast of burden, a camel, to a literal bolt of lightning? Let's walk through the powerful stages of this absolutely incredible transformation. Okay, so it starts with the camel. That's you, weighed down by all the thou shalts, all the rules that society heaps on your back. But then you become the seeker. You journey to the source of those old laws, not to obey them, but to actually challenge them. And the real change, the pivot point, is the declaration, a powerful, simple yes to your own inner strength. And then finally, the rebirth. You don't just survive the storm, you swallow the living lightning itself and make its power your own.
And let's be clear, this is not the tragic story of the biblical Samson. This is a story of pure triumph. It's a conscious, willed act of self-creation that just completely shatters that old narrative of sacrifice and victimhood.
So, what does it actually mean to live like the modern Samson? What does that look like? Let's dive in and see how this transformed being masters both their inner world and the world around them.
I mean, this comparison really says it all, doesn't it? The Samson of old was a victim. Blind, reactive, his power taken from him. But the modern Samson, he's a victor. He has this gaze that cuts through illusions like a sunbeam, and a spirit that absolutely cannot be broken. So how does he build this incredible power? Well, he takes old ideas, like religious vows, and completely repurposes them into tools for mastering himself. Every time he says no to some lesser desire, it's like a tempering fire. Every oath is like a hammer blow, forging his raw instinct into a will strong enough to actually change the world.
Now, this is a pretty radical idea, especially in our time. The modern Samson is completely grounded in the real world. He totally rejects the promise of another life, of some world beyond this one, and instead focuses all his energy on the here and now. For him, the body is the only real temple, and this life, this, is the only eternity that truly matters.
Okay, we've seen the journey, the transformation, the power, and the mastery. But what's it all for? What is the ultimate goal? What does the modern Samson do with all of this incredible strength? This one line, this is the key to the whole thing. He is the Roman Caesar with Christ's soul. Think about that. It's this perfect blend of world-conquering ambition and life-affirming creativity. It's immense, raw power guided by profound wisdom.
So why is this so critical? Well, because we live in a world where a lot of the old beliefs, the old sources of meaning are fading away. And in that void, the modern Samson doesn't fall into despair. He becomes a creator. He forges new values, new meaning for himself and, by extension, for the world.
And this is the final evolution. He's no longer the destructive lion who is only capable of tearing down old traditions. No, he becomes the creative child. He joyfully embraces the world and says, a sacred yes to all of life. It's a brand new beginning, in and of himself.
And so, this whole thing leaves us with a question.
A challenge, really, for each and every one of us. In a world of fading certainties, of dying suns, are we just going to follow the old, worn-out rules? Or will we, like the modern Samson, find the strength to create our own? What new values will you bring into the world?